think will avoid these other videos of mine, and I'm really hoping to garner some audience for them. So the last two nights I've posted videos related to a medical ethics course I'm developing on mandates, medical mandates. And the reason for the course is I'm going to be taking a strong, and I believe well supported, anti mandate perspective. And I want to get this message out to healthcare professionals who perhaps have not thought about that. With that said, these last two videos and upcoming many more videos are going to be going over segments of the course I'm developing. So, with that said, I'd really like it if people would watch it, give me comments, suggestions, things like that. And I mentioned that in the videos themselves, but I know some people are going to be more likely to watch one of these live videos and maybe not so much the ones that are clearly from PowerPoint. So I would encourage you to give me some feedback because it's vitally important, I think, to start changing perspectives on medical mandates. So many within my profession just accept this notion that it is the most ethical thing in the world to do to get the you know what. And I want to challenge that presumption because a lot of people haven't thought through that. And so I'm going to do it through every avenue. One avenue is these videos, which not everybody's going to watch. Another avenue, though, is continuing education courses, which people need. And ethics courses are needed for a lot of healthcare or health professionals in various states to get their license renewal. So this course, if picked up, and it looks like it's going to be picked up by one of the companies I speak for, that's going to reach a lot of professionals and hopefully start changing from within the healthcare community this perception that because I get the hokey pokey, suddenly I'm doing the ethical and right thing. And I want to challenge that. So please watch those videos. Why is it all about the jab and nothing about therapeutics? That's a good question. I mean, since I'm here live, why not bring that up? So my channel, for those who don't know this, started off as John Adamson, the Rehab and Documentation Guru. And at the time, that was what I was doing full time for my job. I'm a physical therapist with 30 years of background, 30 years of experience, and I've been in clinical teaching roles for a good while in my career. And I developed courses, and I also, for a long time, taught a course on documentation. So that was the focus of my channel, and still the majority of my videos are related to that, therapeutics. With that said, I have moved away from one teaching my course because COVID killed all my live courses. They just recently, after almost 2 years, have been getting back to live presentations. And I just let the course expire. I did not update it. And I'd been teaching it for 6 years and I was ready for something new. But part of my background is not just therapy. I have a master's of divinity. That is as long as a law degree. I'm not boasting. It took me 10 years to get through it. It's not a boast at all. But it is a very long degree. It is not only based on like biblical studies, to become a pastor, but there is a strong component of ethics in engaging the world around us and understanding logic and things like that. And so I I have more of a passion for that right now, to tell you honestly. And so somebody asked a really good question, why not so much therapeutics anymore? It's because my passion right now is related to this whole medical mandate thing in terms of rehab. And also, just utilizing my degree in MDiv and talking about biblical things. Because, first and foremost, I am a Christian. And with that said, I can certainly serve the Lord in the area of therapy, but right now it's just not the focus I have. And this whole pandemic and pushing the mandate really pushed me into an area that was new for me. But I started using some of my training and some of my expertise in addressing the whole issue of medical mandate. And so that's why. That's a really good question. I appreciate you not only sticking around from my transition from rehab and documentation guru to seeking light, but that's a really good question, and nobody's posed that to me yet. So since we're live and I'm actually waiting on something to be done, any other questions? You know, I've not done a lot of interactive lives. I mean, if you have therapy questions, I'll try to answer them. My job right now is, and I'll stop saying what I'm saying if I see a question pop up. But my job right now is I call patients all day long from my home who are potential candidates for a certain orthopedic procedure. It's a cartilage replacement surgery known as the MACI, MACI. And so I educate them, still doing education on what that surgery entails, a little bit of details about insurance coverage related to it. Had some really good conversations. Most of them are pretty basic. Most people don't want to sit on the phone and talk to me, which is fine. I'm calling them out of the blue. They're all cold calls. But sometimes I'll get into really deep conversations. Like I had a conversation with a guy who is in pharmaceuticals and devices for like all his career, and he was sharp, and we got deep into the discussion of the logistics of the surgery. So, well, if you all don't have any questions or comments, thank you again for joining me, and please watch those videos. Be picky. You know, if you're going to give me comments, be picky. I'm not. I have pretty thick skin. You know, one thing about being on social media, if you can't develop some thickness to your skin, you're going to have problems because you're going to have people that kind of try to stick it to you. I mean, I got a lot of nasty comments for my religious exemption video. Um, and it was humbling. I mean, I got more nice comments, but I got some really pointed negative comments. And, you know, I just take those, I have to take those in stride. And so if you want to make some negative comments about my course, feel free to. I would really like that because it will maybe help me see some errors, some holes in my argumentation, some deficits, and I want to make this as good and solid a course as possible because I am firmly convinced of my position that it is right to object to medical mandates. And so I want it to be a solid course that people will come out and go, I didn't think about those things. So anyway, again, thanks for joining me. Take care. God bless.